What is going on? Just a quick tip that you can use with the ASR-X by Ensoniq. There is a function in the edit menu of the ASR-X that says start to index. What this is similar to is sort of like a sample start position modulator in the ASR-10, whereby you can use an external modulator like aftertouch or pitch bend or velocity or anything you want to move the sample start of a sample. Now, while it's not completely ideal because, well, we're talking about the ASR-X here, there are things you can do to get some interesting sounds, and that's what we're going to do in this video. Because the ASR-X is just a little bit strange. You don't have as much control as you do with the ASR-10, the EPS 16 Plus, and the EPS. Which reminds me, if you have an ASR-10 and you don't know where to start with it, remember we have the Ensoniq ASR-10 Beginners Manual live right now. You know where to get it. But anyway, I've got 4 samples lined up in the ASR-X, so let's take a listen to them.
Ooh, whoa.
Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to engage the start to index function in the ASR-X, and I'm also going to modulate that index with a mod wheel. And because there is no mod wheel on the ASR-X, we're going to control it from the Arturia key step.
Ooh, whoa.
So there's our original first sample, and let's see what we do with it.
Ooh, whoa, 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 whoa.
As I press the key and move the mod wheel, I can scroll to different start positions within that sample. But what if I don't want to do that? What if I want the sample to trigger itself on its own? That's what I can use the internal arpeggiator on the Arturia key step for. I can set it to trigger itself, which will give me a constant gate while I move the sample. And the thing about the Arturia is I can make it incredibly slow or fast. So now let's take a listen. And just a little bit faster. You could get completely granular and slice up the sample into really small parts. So let's add some effects and see where we can get with this. And the other thing we can do is you can play more than one sample at the same time. So watch what happens when I add in more samples. right? So that's just the beginning of some madness that you can create with the ASR-X. While it's a weird little box and there's a whole lot of workarounds that you got to do to squeeze the potential out of it, it is a powerhouse in its own right. And the good thing is it's very responsive to MIDI. As you can see with its connection to the Arteria, you can get to trigger really fast and be really responsive. It's just not so responsive when you use its own internal sequencer. And by the way, using the internal sequencer to trigger the samples like I did here with the key step will not work with StarttoIndex, because repeating a sample with the sequencer will not trigger the sample from the start point of the index. It's a weird little thing, and the workaround that is to just use an external sequencer to do such things. I mean, what can I say? It's the ASR-X. But anyway, thank you for watching. If you liked and learned something today, subscribe to us here on YouTube. I will catch you on the next one. In the meantime, please take care of yourself. Peace.